Colorado State University, and 3 other
That's right.
universities from the Mountain West will be moving to the Pac-12 in 2026. We're delighted to be joined by University President Amy Parsons and Athletic Director John Weber. Thank you so much for joining us, both of you. I know it's obviously a very busy day. The first question I guess I would ask is, can you take us from the time in which the remaining 2 teams in the Pac-12, Oregon State and Washington State, coordinated with the Mountain West in scheduling until we've gotten from there until where we are today, where Colorado State, and congratulations, will be joining the Pac-12?
Well, first, I really appreciate you guys having us on today. It's a historic day for Colorado State, where it's something that we're unbelievably excited about. This is an opportunity that we've been working on for a really, really long time. So we're sitting over in Canvas Stadium today. If you look at the decade-long effort that we've been doing to invest in our athletics programs and our men's programs and our women's programs, this is a culmination of years of hard work. So this opportunity in front of us is something that we're unbelievably excited about, and paints a really, really bright future for Colorado State.
John, Amy, first of all, I get to say a personal thank you because, as everybody knows, I am an Oregon State grad, which means I am thrilled that I am going to have a much better opportunity to watch my alma mater. No offense. I root for CSU, but now I can root for CSU except for those handful of dates on the calendar during the year. I'm very excited about the fact that Scott Barnes and company are going to be associated with Colorado State. President Parsons, I wanted to ask you about this process because I know that, for example, Athletic Director Scott Barnes at Oregon State sent out a note to alumni, of which I obviously received that note earlier today, and talked about that this new opportunity with the Pac-12 provides an opportunity to I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, sort of have this blank whiteboard and have a little bit of control over what the progression of this conference looks like, not only with the addition of these 4 teams today, but with what other additions or what other things may come. How important was that to you and the university to recognize that you might be able to have a little bit of control over your future fate?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. That is something that's really exciting to us, and credit to the Pac-12 for reaching out to us. And the 4 of us who are leaving the Mountain West have equal rights in the Pac-12. So now there's 6 of us who make up the board, and we have equal voting shares to work together to increase our numbers and to further expand and to think about what other schools we want to invite into the league and what our media rights deals look like going forward and other important things to affect it. I personally get really excited about having that seat at the table and the 6 of us taking control of our destiny and building a league that really reflects who we are, not just athletically, but academically. CSU and Washington State and Oregon State look a lot alike in terms of our academic strength and our research programs. And we're excited to build academic alliances. Our vice presidents for research, our provosts, they'll all be building alliances right along with our ADs on the athletic side, and to be part of a tradition and a history of the Pac-12. It's such a storied league. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that brand and the history of it? And then to also be part of the rebuild of it and what it's going to look like going forward and really reflect modern day athletics. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. We're thrilled.
The timing of this announcement, obviously not accidental, but certainly fortuitous, given the fact that the stadium that you are sitting in, beautiful new Canvas Stadium, will be sold out and highlighted on national television on CBS this Saturday as the Rocky Mountain Showdown returns to Fort Collins for the first time since 1996. Obviously, this is a showcase for the university at the perfect time as this announcement gets made. What is the sense, obviously, with you, with the university as a whole, with all this news breaking today?
I wish we could take credit for the timing, honestly, because the timing is so great.
Yes.
It is coincidental that this is coming out, but CBS is here right now getting ready to film campus in Fort Collins and to showcase one of the best rivalries out there. And we've got a sold out game coming our way. Beautiful September day, 5:30 kick. It just couldn't be better, I think, to showcase Colorado in general and football in Fort Collins and Boulder. And now to be able to tell the story of CSU joining the Pac-12 at the same time that we're focused on the Rocky Mountain Showdown is pretty much a dream come true in terms of timing and announcement and our ability to really tell our story.
Mm-hmm.
John, from an athletics standpoint and from what the rest of the conference could wind up looking like here as we go forward, I'm not going to ask you to speculate on which schools or anything like that. That's not what we're trying to do here. But as you've had these discussions, do you get a feel for could we see other Mountain West schools become a part of this? And B, has there been a discussion about what the timetable might look like for other schools to make the decision that Colorado State obviously already made?
Yeah, so the six schools here that are now part of the Pac-12, that is going to be a very high point of focus for us. In terms of speculating on which schools those would be, we have a lot of work to do before we make any kind of decisions along those lines. But it's an opportunity for us to build a conference in a manner that competes at the absolute highest level, and that's what we're all after: being able to showcase what we do athletically and showcase who we are as an individual collegiate institution. This is what it's all about.
John, would you like to see some of your fellow Mountain West schools join you?
Yeah, I'd like to see us, build a conference out the right way, and we're going to work really hard on making sure that we've got the right membership in that conference, and one that that competes academically, athletically, research wise across the board.
President Parsons, Director Weber, some of the things that Nate and I talked about before you joined us was the idea that when people look at conferences, and yes, you're sitting in the football stadium, but obviously President Parsons referred to the research institutions, the nature of aligning with similar universities with the different styles, but the same objectives. But part of this in the sports world is not just about football. You have the Rams program has been to the March Madness tournament twice in the last 3 years. There's some of the schools that are joining you have had success in that as well. This is more than just about football. This aligns on a lot of the different sports that run the gamut of the sports that you run up in Fort Collins.
Yeah, and that's why we're sitting here in the position that we are today, is because we've, across the board invested not just in football, but in our basketball programs and our women's programs and our facilities for our women's programs, and invested in our culture here at CSU, and just running a really quality program. And, the Pac-12 looked at all of those when they decided who to invite into the rebuild. They look at us academically, who's going to be a great research partner, and all the hard work that we've been putting in here at CSU over the last decade or more really paid off with this invitation, as they're looking at who really competes on all of those different levels. Definitely not just football, although football is important.
President Parsons, on that same line, though, when you talk about that, we know that having the presence and ultimately a television rights and all those things that go into it, it's not just about the recruiting that obviously is important within the athletics for both the men's and the women's programs. It also tends to work with recruiting in terms of the students and in terms of incoming freshmen and transfers and things like that. You alluded to it a little bit earlier, but expand on that for me about the idea of this having the opportunity to expand the base of students that decide to call Fort Collins home and ultimately call CSU there and be an alumni.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. John and I are both alumni of Colorado State University, and my job is to constantly be raising the visibility of Colorado State University and telling the story of all the ways that we're great and what a great college town Fort Collins is as well. Nothing does that quite like, a game on Saturday, a nationally televised game. Nothing does that quite like athletics. Joining the Pac-12 raises our visibility, just gives us more ways to tell our story and who we are. We're excited to be part of the Pac-12 network, Pac-12 Enterprises, what we're going to be able to do with that network going forward to tell our story at CSU. So you're right. This just gives us the platform that we need to further tell the story of Colorado State University and shine a light on all the great ways that we're a tremendous research university here in Fort Collins. So yeah, a lot of things that we can do, I think, with Pac-12 Enterprises, new tools that we don't have currently, and we'll be exploring those in full force coming up.
It's interesting. Obviously, it must be slightly bittersweet. Obviously, when you're talking about Colorado State University and its impact on the Mountain West's creation itself, been instrumental since the get-go. Now moving to the Pac-12, but such a rare opportunity now that they've been involved with creating, to an extent, one conference, and now getting to move to a power conference, but still with the opportunity to get in basically on the ground level again and help shape it and create it. What is the experience that Colorado State brings from doing that once before to the Pac-12, and how do you think that will function going forward?
Well, he won't say it, so I'll just sing the praises real quick of our AD John Weber here, who brings such an entrepreneurial insight into what we're doing here at athletics. Really understands where the landscape of collegiate athletics is going, which is changing all the time. Changed dramatically in the last few years, probably more in the last few years than in the last couple of decades. And he and the team that he's built here at CSU really understand that landscape. Know that we need to be moving within the landscape, taking advantage of these opportunities. So moving into the Pac-12 is a big bet on ourselves. It's a bet on CSU. It's a bet on the leadership team that we have here under John's leadership. And I'll make that bet any day. This has really taken some control over our destiny here. And I love the idea of moving into this new conference where there are 6 of us, schools with our hand on the wheel, and creating something that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, and the opportunity to basically start from scratch and build that conference in a way that we can take advantage of each other's strengths, each other's knowledge. We've got Oregon State and Washington State that have operated at the power level for quite some time. We're going to learn from them. They're going to learn from us as well. And I think the result that you'll see when we all come to market on July 1st of 2026 is that we're going to look different. We're going to behave different, and there are great days ahead for the Pac-12.
John, Amy, we first of all, we want to thank you for your time. You know that in any normal sports talk interview, here I would be putting you on the spot and asking you for a prediction in tomorrow's game. But given the fact that you're sitting there in the stadium, you're both wearing the nice green today, I'm going to save myself the trouble because I know exactly how you're going to predict things are going to go down tomorrow.
Yeah.
Instead of worrying about what exactly is going to happen on the field tomorrow, although we all will be watching and enjoying it, I want to congratulate you, as I said right off the top, as an Oregon State grad. When I was left with the Pac-2, Shawn and I both sat here off the air and discussed what we thought could happen. And at the top of that list was the thought process that Colorado State could be a part of a new and revamped Pac-12. I am thrilled to see it. I know that you are as well, and I think this is the first chapter in what's going to be a very good chapter, both athletically and academically, for the school. And I absolutely offer you a tremendous amount of congratulations from Shawn and I, as well as from everybody at Mile High Sports, as you guys look to take this new chapter in 2026.
We appreciate that. And we certainly look forward to seeing you up in Fort Collins here soon.
Absolutely.
Definitely will. Thank you both so much for the time.
President Amy Parsons, Athletic Director John Weber from Colorado State, thank you both. Appreciate it.